Oh, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome wherever you're watching live on A1R Radio and Moonstruck TV. Welcome to UrbanMonk's 10 minutes of mindful rubbish. But I'm laughing because Dave just told me to do the whole show without a verb. I have no idea what a verb is, so I've failed already. Tonight's episode, I'm going to talk about the voice in the head and letting go of self-definition. Basically, we identify with issues. The ego that I talk about constantly lives in the past. It exists purely in the present to direct you based on past experiences. We, as I touched on before, we identify as parents, we identify as an alcoholic, we identify as the husband, or we identify as a drug dealer, whatever it might be. That's the identification that the voice in the head that's not you gives that title and that label to us. For example, if I said, I love my car, it's not my car, it's not my life, it's not my house. My only thing is myself, life itself. So I hate my life. That's a subject and object, as we spoke about before, from Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. If I think I'm running out of money, I'm broke, I am broke, I'm not. If I said I only have $10 or £10 in the bank, that's a fact. That's factual. That's not something that is a label that I attach to myself or my life. Human beings are going through a strange phase at the moment. We're all trying, especially on this channel, trying to raise the levels of consciousness around the planet, help people, love people, be grateful and be full of gratitude. But the majority of the world today is struggling to find its identity or its place. Nobody knows who they are or what they are because we're so obsessed with attaching labels to ourselves. If you can take a moment to think and not identify yourself as anything, but just as a being, there comes a moment of clarity. While you're in that space of now, if you like, and I like to think that my religion is Nowism, not Taoism or Buddhism, but Nowism, because now is the only time in the universe that we ever will get. Previous moments have gone, the next few moments haven't arrived yet. So we can't base how we are and how we think or allow the ego to put those thoughts in our head, because we're only present right now. So a couple of examples of things that have happened recently. A client of mine was found out that she'd been accused of being unfaithful, and she quite rightly told her partner, who then went off on a catastrophic ride of catastrophizing. What if she had? He spoke to me as a client as well. He spoke to me at length that there were times when she goes from the house shopping and doesn't return for 3 or 4 hours. What if that's the case? What if it's actually true? So instead of listening in the moment and understanding where she was coming from and the depth of her concern, his mind started to play little tricks on him. His mind started to play little movies or make stories up in his mind to justify his doubt and his own insecurity. His insecurity came about from the fact that he identified with being her partner, and that's all that mattered. So if the stories were true, that would be the end of his relationship. That would be the end of his identifying with a 20-year relationship, with the trust and the honesty. So you can see how that little voice inside your head can play terrible tricks. And it's about not engaging with that voice. It's going to be there, but you can quieten it down, take a moment to reflect, jot into a little bit of mindfulness, do a little bit of Tai Chi or a bit of yoga, or wash the dishes. Anything to take your conscious mind away from focusing on what is essentially poison from someone else, sending out energy into the world, which will come back to bite them. We all know about karma. Apologies for the sunglasses, but I'm sat in the backyard of Monk Towers. It's very difficult with the sun shining. We're going through a bit of a heat wave in the UK, which is quite nice. Playing havoc with the plants in my allotment, but apart from that, it's not a problem. And we talk about my life. My life is just life. There is no my involved in that. So if we're starting to think about issues and I am feeling lonely, or I am feeling upset, or I am feeling ill, take time to just take away the verb or whatever it is involved in that sentence, to just accept that you are just you. There is no attachment to you as a person. You are a vibrational, energy filled bag of skin and bones. That's all we really are. So the problems we get tied down with, and the problems we get bogged down with, are because of the voice inside. Imagine that you're lying safe in bed. Yeah. Anything that troubled you in the day, that troubled you, or is potentially going to be troubling you tomorrow, the voice inside your head, the voice that is responsible for continuing your breath in the night, continuing the blood flowing around the body, we don't ask it to. We don't say, I am digesting my food. We just assume that the food will be digested by the thing that takes care of us. So if that voice inside your head focuses on the anxiety, the body inside, the one that cures the cut, the one that keeps the blood flowing, alerts the brain to danger. Once the brain is alerted to danger, as I've said before, all kinds of hormones and chemicals flooded will go partly back to the brain to make that story even worse. The rest of the energy will remain inside the toxic, creating vibrational discrepancies within all the vital organs. So even while you know you're tucked up in bed, nice and calm, nice and warm, your brain is telling your body that you're under attack. We have to just take a moment, think about the thought. If I can achieve something with that thought right now, I will. If I can't, I need to again, and I'm going to say this every week, as Professor Steve Peters says, take the chimp and give it a banana. It will go back in its box. Everything will be as it should be. The body will be vibrating at its normal, universal healing level. So today's thought for today is let go of self-identification. Don't listen to the voice inside the head unless it's telling you not to cross the road when the traffic lights are on green. There are certain things that it's designed to do to keep you alive. The rest of the time, it needs to exist. And as an energy vibration, it can't exist if you're present and in the moment. So again, thank you for checking in. It's been another interesting chat. The sun's shining. I need to go and get myself a beer. I hope you all have a great time. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.